You've probably heard the word God today. Maybe you said it. Maybe someone else did. Maybe it just passed through your mind without you noticing. But here's something almost no one stops to ask. Where did the idea itself come from? Not any specific religion, not any scripture, not any culture, just the idea that something unseen, something greater than humans, might exist at all. Because if you go far enough back in time, the story becomes strange. For most of human existence, there is very little clear evidence of anything we would confidently call organized religion. No temples, no sacred texts, no large formal rituals that we can clearly identify. Just humans surviving in small groups, hunting, gathering, raising children, and trying to stay alive. And then, something begins to appear. Around 100,000 years ago, we start to see unusual burials. Bodies are placed with care. Objects are left beside them. Red pigment is sometimes sprinkled over the dead. Something about death is changing. It no longer looks like just an ending. It starts to look like it means something more. But the real shock comes much later. In southeastern Turkey, archaeologists discovered a site called Göbekli Tepe. Massive stone pillars arranged in circular formations, intricate carvings of animals, foxes, snakes, scorpions, vultures. It is over 11,000 years old. That makes it thousands of years older than Stonehenge and even older than the Egyptian pyramids. But the most surprising part is not its age. It is who built it. The people who constructed Göbekli Tepe were hunter-gatherers. There is little evidence they had cities, little evidence they had farming at a large scale. And yet, they somehow organized the labor to move and carve stones weighing several tons. For a long time, scientists assumed the order of history was simple. First came farming, then cities, then religion, then temples. But Göbekli Tepe challenges that sequence. It raises a disturbing possibility. What if shared belief and shared ritual came before civilization itself? What if the thing we call religion helped bring large groups of humans together in the first place? But even that does not answer the deeper question. Why would humans form these beliefs at all? Part of the answer may lie inside the brain itself. In the 1990s, researchers studying patients with epilepsy noticed something unusual. Some of them reported intense spiritual experiences during seizures, feelings of presence, feelings of meaning, feelings of connection to something beyond themselves, not vague emotions but experiences that felt completely real to them in the moment. Since then, neuroscience has shown that spiritual and religious experiences are not produced by a single God center in the brain. Instead, they involve multiple systems working together. Systems related to emotion, memory, self-awareness, and meaning. This suggests something important. The human brain is naturally capable of generating experiences that feel profoundly meaningful, even transcendent. The machinery for it is already there. But why would evolution build a brain like that? One possible explanation is something called agency detection. Imagine you are walking through the dark and you hear a sound behind you. It could be nothing, just wind. Or it could be something dangerous, something that sees you. From an evolutionary perspective, it is safer to assume there is something there, even when there is not. Because if you are wrong and you assume nothing is there, the cost could be fatal. Over thousands of generations, this bias becomes deeply embedded in human cognition. We become extremely sensitive to intention, to patterns, to hidden causes behind events. We don't just see what happens. We instinctively ask who or what made it happen. This tendency may help explain why supernatural agents feel intuitive to us, why invisible forces, watching presences, or intentional powers behind nature are so easy for the human mind to imagine. But a feeling alone does not create a religion. Feelings are temporary. They disappear with individuals. What makes them powerful is something else entirely. Stories. The moment humans begin to give these invisible forces names, personalities, and narratives, everything changes. The experience becomes shareable. It can be taught. It can be remembered. It can survive the people who first experienced it. And once that happens, religion becomes more than personal belief. It becomes a system, a way of organizing people who may never meet each other, a way of creating shared identity, shared rules, and shared purpose. a way of allowing large groups of humans to cooperate at a scale that would otherwise be impossible. This may also explain why religious ideas spread so effectively across human history. They are not just beliefs, they are social technologies. They help structure human groups. So where did the idea of God come from? Archaeology points toward ritual and burial. Neuroscience points toward a brain built to detect meaning and intention. Evolution points towards survival mechanisms that prefer false positives over false negatives. And culture turns all of that into stories that can outlive the people who first told them. None of this answers whether any God actually exists. That question is separate, and it remains unanswered. But it may explain something just as important. Why human beings, in every part of the world and across every period of history we can observe, seem to arrive at similar kinds of invisible forces, spirits, or gods. And even now, after thousands of years of history, after science, after philosophy, after everything we have learned about the world, we are still asking the same questions we have always asked. Why are we here? Why do we suffer? What happens when we die? And maybe the most important question of all, is there something beyond us? Or are we the ones who created the need to believe it exists?